as far as being African American, academia is not as bad as being a Christian. Yeah, compromise in scholarship was, I remember attending a conference where someone was making the argument that there wasn't bias against, I think it was Catholics and
Hmm.
conservative Republicans. And I just found the argument unconvincing for methodological reasons. So I thought, well, if you really want to look at that, you need to do this, this, and this. So a couple of years later, I had the opportunity. So I did this, this, and this, and compromise in scholarship was the result, where I did find that there was bias, and I suspected there was going to be political and religious bias. I thought that the political bias would be greater than the religious bias because I knew Christians who were sociologists.
Hmm.
I did not know any Christians who were Republicans, or at least who were willing to say they were Republicans. But it was the other way around. That there was more religious bias than political bias, and so that's that's the book that I
That was
really
shocking.
started to. It surprised me. The bias doesn't surprise me. The fact that there was bias doesn't surprise me. The fact that the bias for religion for conservative Christians was more than for Republicans, that's what surprised me.
Hmm.
Uh, so, at that point, I wanted to study more on what I later would term the Christianophobia,
Yeah.
because that was illustrating it. And then I wanted to have more of an understanding of larger society, and that led to some of my other books.
Right. And you had a background where you had written several books at that time on race. And I remember
Yes.
when I first saw that, I think it was Nicholas Kristof, right? The
Hmm.
uh,
Yes.
NYT individual. He asked you about that. So you've got a background as a Christian and as a black man. Tell us about that. And your statement there sort of depicted what you just pronounced to us about being shocked yourself, being in academia and being a Christian.
Yeah, I think the statement that a lot of people took from that was when I said that I face outside of academia, I face more discrimination as an African American. But inside academia, I face more discrimination as a Christian.
Hmm.
For me, it's not even close. Either Probably either way, not even close. That
Right.
inside academia, quite honestly, being African American can work for me. Doesn't always work for me, but it definitely can work for me.
Hmm.
Being a Christian rarely works for you in academia, with possibly the exception that you can get a job at a Christian university in a way that some others can't. But those universities tend to be lower status universities. They're not the highest desired jobs. But if you had to have a job, perhaps that would help you out at the margins. Otherwise,
Right.
being a Christian is a big disadvantage in academia. And this also may be the true in some of the other cultural areas, such as the arts and entertainment and that sort of thing. And so I think that that was the statement that caught people's attention, because it's not that I downplay
Sure.
racism, and you know that I don't downplay racism or structural institutional discrimination and that sort of thing. I don't at all. But I acknowledge that it's not the same thing in all places, and that as far as being African American, academia is not as bad as being a Christian.
Yeah, I was grateful to see the book because I had my own experiences in
Mhm.
academic struggles, and then leading this organization, I've certainly seen it as a problem. But your data was very helpful in bringing that to light. I mean, it's data. It's not just anecdotal experience that
Yeah.
I'm limited to.